My name is Michael Brooke. I'm the Director of Technology at St Julian's School, and I work primarily to lead and manage innovative learning across our 3 schools here in Portugal. So initially, we kept it to the younger ages because that felt a bit more relevant to us to begin with. But even when we opened it out, we were sort of overwhelmed with the numbers of students wanting to get involved. That was really nice. We saw a lot of collaboration within teams and a lot of support within teams. And that was a big improvement that we saw. And then as we went through the pilot, we also noticed that we saw a lot of other students coming in to spectate, which is one thing we really wanted to develop actually, which we might come on to later. But a lot of students coming in from other subjects who weren't involved in the actual tournament. So we had some of our IB students coming in. They were doing some internal commentaries and things like that and running off little sort of podcasts about the tournament to send out on our newsletters. So it generated a whole buzz around the school, which wasn't necessarily academically driven, but it was certainly driven on our core kind of beliefs. So that was a big part of it for me as well.
I'm Tom Archer, the Head of Co-Curricular Sports Activities at the British School of the Netherlands. The Institute's view of esports in general has definitely changed, and particularly the students' view as well. We've managed to include a lot of students who are not engaged in other sports activities through the sports department, and the view of esports by the students who weren't necessarily familiar with esports has definitely changed to a more positive view overall. They've seen the effects of teamwork and also strategies and tactics behind the games as well that can be employed in esports, and overall it's been a really positive experience.
The important thing for us is that it managed to bring together a whole bunch of students in an environment that they were very confident in, that allowed them to actually teach us a lot of stuff as well. And I think it's important for us as a school to kind of educate and work with parents to define what all these different things mean and to show the positives. And I think the esports thing, when we were pushing it out on newsletters, we were getting a huge amount of positive response of parents. We had no negative emails from parents about concerns about what this might mean. We only had really positive responses. So, I think those sorts of things for us have really kind of, they've just been huge benefits for us.
Yeah, my name's Chris Wade. I am the head of PE at the senior school Voorschoten at the British School in the Netherlands. Well, us kind of figuring out where the students were in their own play, and then figuring out where we can get some sort of specialist help. Because while I'm interested in esports and play games, totally different game to Rocket League. And then we realised that one of our IT guys plays Rocket League regularly, and so getting his insight, and then picking year 13 students who were going to help with the pilot who also play Rocket League regularly. So I think trying to get the rest of the community involved, even in a small amount for the pilot, I think that was one of the biggest things, I think.
My name is Oliver Porter. I work at the British School of Paris. I'm a design technology teacher. I also teach other subjects. I've taught computer science, maths, science, and I'm also pastoral leader for year 7. The people who I've come across who are skeptical and are still skeptical is because it's not a physical sport. People aren't going out there and physically doing stuff, but that doesn't mean that there's not that teamwork, there's not that bonding, there's not that rivalry. There's all the same stuff. It's just, it's not physical. So it depends what it is you're looking to get out of doing something like this. If it's to get fitter, fine, go to the gym, play sport. If it's to make friends and to have that competitive edge, that sense of I've been successful in something, then it's just as valid as anything else.
To be perfectly honest, a year ago I'd have probably been quite skeptical about esports in general myself. I've played games before, but never really saw them in the light that I've seen them over the last few weeks. As I've said, just the skills that are used amongst the players, communication skills, and the camaraderie that's developed between them and other schools as well has been fantastic. I think it's definitely something that is going to grow in the future, and we've tried to explain to our students how it is a growing industry as well, and that not just necessarily playing esports, but the whole idea behind esports as well, the development of the games, and that the sort of software side of things as well is going to be a fantastic skill for them to have in the future.
Oh, definitely. As many different games as possible, with as many other schools as possible, just to give them the opportunity to do it for as long as they want to do it.
Yeah, we would definitely like to take part in more titles and to participate against a wider range of schools as well, British schools across the globe, and also schools within the UK and other international schools as well. And we've had a lot of requests from students to play different types of games. Some of those are appropriate for in-school playing. Some of those are probably other sports that we may support them playing outside of school, but not necessarily within school. There's been a lot of requests to play some strategy-based games and also some sports games as well.
We're quite lucky in some senses, in as much as we have a lot of students here who have access to gaming and good devices, and have already built up good gaming communities. So we have a bunch of students who are already involved in this area. So we have a fairly interested party of young people. We have potentially a lot of development going on our site, where we're redesigning a lot of our spaces and moving towards a new build as well. And so we're still in that design phase where we're looking at perhaps how our learning spaces are being set up. So there's a big opportunity for us to actually build something like that into our kind of IT lab spaces and things like that. Yeah, we're pretty signed up and ready to go, I would say.
I can definitely see an esports future at the BSN over the next few years, particularly the cross-curricular aspects of working with the IT department and maybe even the art department and some of the media studies students to develop a wider or a big project basically amongst this. We'll look at running esports on a termly basis, probably doing 2 terms out of the 3 throughout the year in the future, and develop the student skills playing the game like that. But the 3rd term we could look at possibly then involving the computing department or design and technology department, various other departments to try and put a program together so that students are not just playing esports, they're actually understanding what goes into the esports industry in itself. We're also looking at possibly running a trip up to one of the esports arenas that there are in the Netherlands to show students where they could be playing in the future if they're good enough to get there.